Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today we have a gov't Series 2 Flying V. Now, the gov't series, if you've never heard of them, it's basically Gibson sticking it to the man, giving them the middle finger for their wrongdoings. It was in August of 2011 when the huge famous raid occurred. I believe it also happened before that in like 2009 or something like that. But this is the one that caused a bunch of hubbub and it made news headlines. And when I say the gov't took their wood, they took fretboards, sometimes complete guitars, bodies, and necks, because they felt that Gibson sourced the wood illegally. Now, after about a year of negotiations, Gibson paid a fine and got their wood back, and what they decided to do was create a special run of guitars using the reclaimed wood. The first run of these guitars was featured in a gunmetal gray finish. They did a Les Paul, an SG, Flying V, Explorer, and many years later a 335. Now, gunmetal gray, it's not like the 80s charcoal metallic gunmetal gray. It's still kind of a flat finish, think a satin finish almost. So it doesn't have any of the sparkles, but personally I prefer Series 1 because it was the first one. They came in a very cool limited edition case with a money green exterior and a dark interior. And Series 1 sold out really quickly. It was very popular among the people because people can get behind gov't bashing all day long. So they bought those guitars up in support of Gibson. And it was so popular they decided to do a Series 2. And that's where this one comes from. These ones were offered in what they consider a gov't tan finish. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't like the gov't tan finish. I think it looks good on Flying V's and Explorers, but I think it looks very ugly on the Les Paul in comparison. However, I do think it would be cool to see like the gov't tan and the gunmetal grays side by side. I think that would be a really cool sight to see. So needless to say, these are more so collector's items. You're gonna pay a slight premium for these simply because of what they represent. But at heart, these are very similar to like a faded Flying V. You can get those in like a faded black and a faded cherry finish. This is basically just a faded tan finish, but it's got a little bit of glossiness to it, so it's not quite the same. The pickups are also very different in these guitars as compared to the faded series. I believe those ones come with a 496R 500T, but these ones have the big middle finger to the gov't, the Dirty Fingers Plus. I'm pretty sure they decided just to put the Dirty Fingers pickups in here because, well, it's just a funny name. They're telling the gov't, get your dirty fingers off my wood. So it's an interesting choice of ceramic pickups in this guitar. And you also have the gov't series emblem on the pickguard. But besides that, it's just your standard Flying V. You've got a mahogany body with a mahogany neck and a rosewood fretboard. And that's the other thing that makes this guitar special. This fretboard was part of the wood that was taken by the gov't for that year and then later returned to Gibson. So overall, these are just kind of cool historical guitars. They don't necessarily command a huge premium. Series 2 will generally bring in what they were new with a slight premium. If you like the hot ceramic pickups and you dig the finish of one of these and you like the historical significance of it, definitely check one out. But other than that, yeah, you could probably just get just about any faded Flying V and just upgrade the pickups to whatever you want and have a very similar instrument. So now that we've learned a little bit about this guitar, let's go ahead and hear how this particular example sounds. Now that we know how this guitar sounds, let's go ahead and review its condition. This was a player's instrument. I'm not going to say it's mint condition. I'm not really going to say it's trashed either. It was actually quite dirty when I got it, but I just cleaned it, so you might see some lemon oil residue. But you've got some light scratches here on the face of the headstock from the strings kind of being long here. Your truss rod works just fine. Honestly, it doesn't even look like it's ever been seriously adjusted or anything. One slight playability issue I want to make note here. The A string, the nut seems to have been filed down just a hair too deep. If you really hit it hard, you can hear it buzzes because of that, but then it stops as soon as you fret a note. But to be completely honest, once I plugged it in, listened to the recording, I didn't tell it was buzzy at all. So it's good to know about. You might want to change the nut, but you don't necessarily have to. The rosewood fretboard on this one, nice and dark. Even before I oiled it, this had a really dark color to it. And based on the other gov't series guitars I've owned, usually they're a lighter color, so this one's definitely a nice dark example. You've got very minimal fret wear on this one, but you do have a little bit. Now we'll take a look at the body here. You've got some light impression marks and scratches, and since this is related to like the faded finish, you can see there are a few areas where it's just been rubbed through to the bare wood, and some of those are also dings. But you can see there are a few areas right here, kind of where your strap would be. So this one's more so for a player or the not so picky collector. I mean, it's not trashed, but there's definitely cleaner examples out there. You can see you've got a small impression line right here. And something else I want to point out, you have a small chip out of the knob right here on its skirt. It doesn't affect how it's used, but it's good to know. Now this guitar was likely stored close to an ocean. There was like a lot of salt in the air because the frets were like almost green in color, and the pull pieces was showing some light rust. I went ahead and cleaned that all off. The frets are beautiful now, and you have relatively clean looking pull pieces again. But you've got scratches on the pick guard, and I cleaned it up pretty good. So you also have some residual lemon oil residue there, but eventually that'll go away. These do come with stock black hardware. You can see that's starting to fade a little bit on the edge of the bridge, and the black has also kind of faded off of some of these screws at the top, but I do believe every single screw is original. They were all the same length. Back of the headstock, our serial number is 1296-30-43-5, made in USA 2013. At the top of the headstock here, you can see it must have dinged against something and it kind of broke the finish a little bit. There's another very tiny area of that again right here. The neck is a beautiful 60 slim profile. The only thing to really note on the neck is like a pinhead sized ding. I mean, if you feel it with your finger like this, you can tell it's there, but playing it, you will never know it's there, but it's good to know that it is there. Other than that, you just kind of have some smudge marks or something like that. I was unsuccessful in cleaning those off, but there's really only just a few of those on the neck. Your heel joint is good, nothing to worry about there. Stock strap buttons are also black on this one. Despite being a player, I'm not really seeing any buckle rash or worming on this example. So, if you're not a super picky collector, you might be able to collect this example, but I think this one's more so for somebody who just wants to play a cool piece of Gibson history. Take a look around the sides here. Nothing too much, just some more light wear around the strap button. It's kind of interesting how they put it at an angle like that. It really helps balance the V, but at the same time it creates the other issue of where your strap will rub against the finish here. So you can always tell if one of these has been played because you'll have a little bit of area missing right here. But other than that, these sides are fairly clean. Since this isn't really a gloss nitro finish, you're not going to see much of a glow, but there is a very small amount of glowing going on here. This would show if there were any touch-ups, breaks, cracks, or repairs to the guitar, but this guitar is in the clear with nothing to worry about on this example. The headstock is free from any type of tomfoolery. This guitar does retain its original Gibson USA Flying V case. It's got quite a bit of wear and tear. It's not completely trashed or anything, but you can see where there's some scuffs to the Tolex and whatnot, especially right there. It definitely still protects the guitar very well though. And there's also some wear to the bottom right there. The interior is white. You can see it's rather dirty in the fretboard area. The fretboard was pretty filthy until I cleaned it. But other than that, it protects the guitar just fine. It still kind of has that brand new vanilla scent to it. So it's definitely a good case. It could just use some sort of minor cleaning. Inside the case also sleeps some of the original paperwork, and you have a still sealed certificate of authenticity. It's factory sealed. I can open it up if you want me to, but I figure if it's sealed, we'll just leave it be sealed. If you think you might be interested in being the next owner of this gov't Series 2 Flying V, feel free to check out the Reverb listing. I will leave a link in the description. Thank you, Troglodytes, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.